Okay, we're about to start our first virtual trial of a Concord West Toastmasters meeting. So I'll hand over now to our Sergeant-at-Arms, Lana Shaba. Over to you, Lana.
Thanks, Peter. Welcome everyone to today's trial meeting. This is a first for our club, but as you can see, we've got it working. I'd now like to just remind everyone quickly, if you haven't muted or silenced your phone, just so it doesn't ping while you're speaking, that would be great. And with that, I'll now hand over to our first chairman, Peter Crosby. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks very much. Lana. And it's my pleasure to be the chairman for this meeting. First of all, I'd like to hand over to John Hewson to do a quick President's opening and a safety briefing, if that one is necessary. Thank you, John. Over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Well, welcome and thank you for your time this afternoon in preparing this trial meeting, and hopefully it will be very beneficial to our members. I'd like to see this as a whole new venture for the club for whatever period of time we have to do this. But it's exciting technology and it's exciting to be able to be involved in it, even if we are potentially being forced into this situation of a rather unique meeting. I want to thank those who have taken the time and effort to get involved, and for those who are doing this trial today. This, of course, is brought about by the reasons that have been outlined in emails that have been sent out regarding the fact that we would no longer be able to appropriately meet in the restaurant in our current venue. So we are in uncharted waters here, but I'm sure there are a number of other clubs who are in exactly the same position as us, even this weekend. I thank you for your participation and efforts in this and look forward to the excitement of the online meetings. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John. And with that, we'll just do some quick introductions. So I thought the theme of our meeting today is apply what you know. And so perhaps we can just introduce ourselves and how long you've been a member of the club, and just what your previous experience has been with the Zoom platform. So I'll just go using the order that people appear on my screen. So first of all, I'd invite Alex to introduce himself. Over to you, Alex.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Alex Lee. I've been a member for four and a half years. Apply what you know. Didn't know about Zoom. I did know a lot of other video sharing, but didn't experience it until we use Zoom. It's interesting, a lot to learn, but I'm willing to give it a go for how long it takes, maybe. Anyway, it's a new experience, and it's very, very good. It's looking good, but we'll make it better somehow. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Alex. And I'll now hand over to Harini. Over to you, Harini.
Thanks, Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Harini Sanjamati. I've been with the Concord West Toastmasters for almost 4 years. Today's theme is apply what do you know in relation to Zoom. For me, using Zoom meeting is absolutely zero knowledge. The first time I had this experience with Peter, and after that, I've got a couple of Zoom invite from like my financial planners and few other people, because I wasn't quite comfortable with the Zoom meeting. I actually skipped. I said I would prefer to come for a face-to-face. I'm not a a screen person. But now through this Toastmaster, the new way of conducting meeting, I feel much comfortable now, and I learned a lot as well. And I would like to say thanks to Corona as well as all our executive members to bring this new way of conducting this meeting. And it's good to see you all. When they say shut down, I was really worried, now when can I see my people? So this is the best way and safe as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Rainey. And I now hand over to John Hewson for his introduction. Thank you. Thanks very much, John.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, this is quite exciting. actually, that we have this alternative to being shut away. And my first experience with Zoom was, in fact, just last week when we started setting this up and trying to get it to work for the club. I was extremely excited by how relatively straightforward it was. Yes, it's got some bugs and things that we need to sort out, but the example of even this small trial meeting shows that just for me, a second meeting, this can be made to work. And I think that given that I've been in this club for a little over 11 years, this is really very new, but I think it's got potential in the interim, whatever that period of time will be, to be very exciting for our club and for our members, and indeed, even for our visitors. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John. Now I'd like to invite Lana to give her introduction. Thank you, Lana.
Hi everyone, my name is Lana Shaba. I've been a member for 2 years now. I'd never heard of Zoom until Peter mentioned it in the chat. And after disastrous experiences at uni with Adobe Connect, I'm happy to say that this is a lot easier and everyone can connect quite easily. As part of my job as a student tutor, I'll be learning how to use Zoom for about 2 hours on Monday. So hopefully I pick up a few things, but thanks, Peter.
Okay. Thanks very much, Lana. And the next person on my list is Melody. Over to you, Melody.
Thank you, Chairman. Hi, everyone. My name is Melody Liang. I've been with this club for almost 3 years. With work, I actually always use video conferences or audio conferences, but we always use Cisco WebEx rather than Zoom. I'm actually officially an official IT officer and with our team because somehow I'm very daring to actually click all sorts of buttons and actually give it a try. So I'm relatively okay with those kind of technology. My only experience with Zoom is actually with my career coach. He is based in US and we always have to do video conferencing. But interestingly, for the past how many months, I was never able to actually make video work. So we always sometimes have to actually convert it to audio. I'm very glad that this time when we tried the Zoom tryout for a few days ago, mine was working miraculously. So I'm very glad that it's a really good start. I'm very looking forward to it as well. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Chairman.
And now I invite Sonia to do her introduction. Over to you, Sonia.
Hi everyone, my name's Sonia and I've been with the club for over a year. I predominantly use Skype to do presentations. It's usually via audio, and if we are sharing a video, it's usually me presenting a PowerPoint and talking. And Zoom is the first Zoom I use internationally with New Zealand, but it's only audio. So I find that Zoom is a more superior product, and I'm enjoying all the great things that you can do with it during Toastmasters. But even more important is the fact that it's given me confidence to run meetings like this that are a lot more complicated with ease. So everything that I learned here over the next, weeks or hopefully not months, I'll take back to work when I do go back finally there. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. And for me, my name's Peter Crosby. I've been a member of Concord West Toastmasters for 14 years now. And for me, Zoom, I did have a role with the district, and we used it a little bit for the district leadership team. But mainly lately, I'm part of a private mentorship and leadership group, and we regularly Zoom in from a meeting in Canberra. But with the coronavirus, our Sydney meetings, which are every second week, we had our first one by Zoom last week. So I'm fairly comfortable with using it, and compare the only other one I've really had any experience with, or two ones, are Skype and Google Hangouts. But I think for this type of meeting, Zoom has much more flexibility for a larger group of people. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it and applying whatever we learn during this period. Looking forward to applying it in life outside Toastmasters in the months to come. All right, we'll move on now. Thanks everyone for your introductions. We'll move on now to the reading of the mission of the club. And how did we resolve that in the end? Was it Sonia doing that? Can I hand over to you, Sonia, to do that, or is it to John?
John has the plaque.
Okay, I'll unmute you, John, so that you can read the mission of the club. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Peter. The club mission: we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And the Toastmaster core values are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks very much, John. And now we move into the meeting. Today we're only going to do one speech and one evaluation, and just as a demonstration purposes. And we also have a timer who's Alex. And Alex, I'll just unmute Alex so he can explain how the timing will operate. Over to you, Alex, for a brief explanation, please.
Okay. So is this speech gonna be like 2, 3, 4 minutes, or?
It's three to 4, so it'll be 3, 3.5, and 4.
Okay. Okay. At the third minute, I'll hold up this paper. At 3.5 will be yellow, and 4 minutes will be a red paper. Okay, so I'll just make a little bit of noise to let you know. Yeah. So I'll just make like a clap sound. Okay. Okay.
I think if you're running the paper, it'll probably make enough noise anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Thanks very much, Alex. Okay. I'll leave you unmuted so that Zoom will pick up that you're making a noise. Okay. Well, our first speaker is giving a trial speech. Do you have any particular objectives with this speech, Harini? Do you have any objectives or purpose to your speech today?
Not really, Peter. This is just like a trial speech. No objectives, but definitely you guys can take some information when you go.
Okay. Do you have a title for your speech?
Yeah, tandoori recipe.
Tandoori recipe. Okay. Sounds delicious.
That's it.
Okay. All right, so with our speech number 1 today, so our timer is ready. Alex, I take it?
Yes, ready.
Okay, time is ready. Please welcome Harini Sundaramurthy with tandoori recipe. Is that right?
Tandoori chicken, whatever, tandoori.
Tandoori recipe, Harini Sundaramurthy. Clap hands like this.
Thanks, Peter. Would you like to try tandoori chicken? Unfortunately, through Zoom, I can't give you any tandoori chicken, but I would like to share tandoori chicken recipe. It's very authentic Indian homemade recipe. For example, current situation, people encourage you to eat home food. Don't buy anything from outside. So I would like to share this simple recipe with you guys. You can use either chicken or any vegetables like potatoes or eggplants or whatever. But I just give you a simple recipe. First of all, start with the chicken. How to prepare chicken first? Whatever the fillet you like, either thigh fillet or breast or whatever, you have to clean it with lemon water and turmeric powder. It's a kind of antiseptic, so keep it aside. Now come to the base. How to prepare the tandoori paste, homemade paste. Very simple. You need 4 to 5 ingredients. Number 1, ginger paste. Number 2, garlic paste. Number 3, Greek style yogurt. Number 4, cracked pepper. Number 5, olive oil. Number 6, fresh lemon juice. That's all you needed. Plus, to give a good color, you need turmeric powder. Turmeric powder and pepper plays a major role to combat coronavirus. So once you get the chicken, drain all the water, keep it aside. and add 1 scoop of garlic paste, 1 spoon of ginger paste, add half lemon, and then pepper for your taste. Add 2 teaspoons of olive oil, mix them all together thoroughly, and add 2 teaspoons of Greek yogurt, and then finally add pinch of salt, it's up to your taste, and then turmeric powder. Mix them all together. When you mix it, you need to add 2 more ingredients on the top. Love and care. When you cook, cook with the love. It tastes better. So once you mix fully, like marinated fully, keep it aside for half an hour to 1 hour to get a best results. Once you're ready, either you can use frying pan to throw this marinated chicken on the top, or grilled, whatever make it easy for you guys. Once it's cooked, keep it aside. And next thing is you have to prepare a dip called raita. Very simple. You just need only 3 ingredients: natural yogurt, cumin seed, and mint leaf. Mix them all together. Raita is ready, tandoori chicken is ready. Put them together and enjoy your meal. You can use this recipe to make any tandoori based vegetables or chicken, anything. Once again, I'm telling you in summary, to make any good tandoori chicken, you just need only 5 ingredients: either chicken or vegetables, yogurt, garlic paste, ginger paste, pepper, olive oil, lemon juice, and turmeric powder. Put them all together, marinated. Enjoy. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Very much, Harini. Let's give a big round of applause. This is how you clap on video. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Harini. And thank you, Alex, for the timing. What I'd suggest that we do, just to give Sonia a bit of a chance to formulate her evaluation. Are you ready to give an evaluation now, Sonia, or would you rather wait till after the 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes, I can. Yes, go ahead.
I'm happy to give it now if you'd like.
Okay, rightio. So with her evaluation of Harini's speech, please welcome Sonia Dunker. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Well, Harini gave a wonderful speech. Given the circumstances, she decided to display all the ways that we demonstrate the way we excel and speak in Toastmasters by making sure that we could hear her voice as she stood up and moved away from her computer. In this instance, it was very clear, and you could actually make out everything that she was saying. And she actually used her hands in the beginning, but she used them a lot more than usual just to demonstrate all the ingredients and the information that she wanted to relay about how she made that tandoori chicken. Her movement was a little bit limited because of the screen, but although she still moved from left to middle to right, and that was her trying to demonstrate, you know, what she described the tandoori, what was like, how she made the ingredients, and in the end, telling us what a great recipe it is. She kept everyone engaged by using a really, really simple recipe that everybody loves. So that was a really wonderful thing to do. But it also made us really, really hungry because it's almost dinner time. Well done, Harini. So we were really engaged trying to listen. We were actually really listening to you, very excited to hear about, you know, how tandoori chicken is made. And also told us she was very detailed in the way she delivered the content of her speech, and being clear right at the end, telling us that, you know, you should go right now and try it. So one thing I would recommend for Harini, just given the circumstances that we have with the way we're using Zoom, is perhaps maybe we can all sit down and just use our upper body and use just our shoulders and our hands. It's just the lighting of when you moved when Harini moved from the middle to the end. It was a little bit dark to see her when she moved across, but other than that, wonderful speech, very engaging, and I'm looking forward to giving mine because you've done such a great job and you're the first one up the rank, and it's great. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Sonia. Well done. The first virtual evaluation of Concord West Toastmasters Club. We're now due for a break. Does anyone want to have a break, or should we just keep going? Just raise your hand if you'd like to have a short break. Everyone's happy to keep going? Okay, we'll keep going. And with that, I'll hand over to you, John, now to chair the second half of the meeting. I'll still control the microphones, and but I'll hand over to you now, John, to chair the second part of the meeting. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. And so far, so good. In fact, not only so good, really exciting, really exciting. So we'll move on with our second half, which of course is normally our fun period when we can share and table topics. And also, of course, we can have, in the real meeting, we can have some further evaluations and assessments of how we're going. And from that, we will learn quite a lot. So the first thing I'd like to do is call on Lana, who is going to be our table topics master for this afternoon, to present her table topics. Please, Lana.
Thanks very much, John. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the table topics portion of the meeting. Today's theme is Apply What You Know. I think we can all agree that right now, as we speak, we are applying what we know from our usual face-to-face Toastmaster meetings to this new online platform. With that in mind, let's do what we do best by having an entertaining, interesting table topics session. The purpose of table topics is to provide members with an opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking skills. Refining and developing these skills can help members in a variety of areas, such as job interviews and boardroom meetings, to name a few. Just some things to keep in mind. Your aim is to speak for approximately 1 minute. Our timer extraordinaire, Alex, will display green paper for 50 seconds, amber or yellow paper for 60 seconds, and red paper for 70 seconds. Today's evaluator will be Melody. She will be providing constructive feedback to our table topic participants. So without further ado, let's start with the first question. Should you eat pizza with your hands or with a fork and knife? Should you eat pizza with your hands or with a fork and knife? John.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Well, pizza isn't quite pizza unless you're using your fingers. I think that sort of tactile experience of holding the pizza, it's a bit like a meat pie. You can't eat a meat pie with a knife and fork. And I think the same thing applies to a pizza. But given the circumstances at the moment, maybe a lot of people, including myself, are rethinking that and considering that utensils may be a little bit safer. It is extraordinary, and indeed the thing we're being told is wash the hands, wash the hands, wash the hands, that how many germs we do in fact have on our hands at any given time. And one of the things that I've noticed during this particular circumstance is how often people are using hand sanitizer and then putting their hand on the railing of the escalator. I just don't get that. So I think we need to be very conscious of the fact that perhaps in these times, it might be necessary to dispense with that lovely tactile experience of eating a pizza with your fingers and perhaps start using utensils till further notice. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John, for that. Thanks for getting us off to a great start. Next question. If you were invited to a barbecue, what would you bring and why? If you were invited to a barbecue, what would you bring and why? Sonia?
Well, you're asking me. Well, I I usually bring too much food and too much alcohol with me. I usually bring an esky. I'm terrible. So it's just my background. Never, you know, too much is never enough. And you always give to the host because you know what? They've got the rotten job of cleaning up afterwards. So the first thing I always bring is something that's very hearty. Then I bring something a little bit light. So usually it's like a rice dish and then a salad dish for anybody else that, you know, wants a little bit more healthier option. And I always bring awesome desserts. And I can't make desserts. They're always bought, but they're fantastic. But I always bring my own cocktail mix. So I'm the one that makes the cosmopolitans. So if you're asking me, what do I bring? It's food and alcohol. Never, too much is never enough. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. That was fantastic. I don't drink alcohol, but maybe I could make an extension to your cocktails. Okay, next question. What activities make you lose track of time? What activities make you lose track of time? Peter.
Thanks very much, Lana. I think with this current environment where we're trapped inside most of the time, has really brought to the fore that the thing that I lose track of time is looking at these screens. I find I can just absolutely waste an hour or use up an hour just like that in when I look at a screen. Part of my routine, whether it's a good thing or not, is I like to read the digital edition of the paper. And I also have a Fitbit which records how many active hours I have every day when I do 250 steps in an hour. And I can often tell when I've been reading the paper because I don't get my 250 steps up in that particular hour. So really the thing there where I do lose track of time is looking at the looking at the screens, whether it be my iPad or a computer screen. And spending more time on Zoom will probably mean time will fly even faster. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Peter. Final question for today. What sport would you compete in if you were in the Olympics? What sport would you compete in if you were in the Olympics? Harini.
Lana, what sport that I can compete when I'm in an Olympic? I love cycling, but don't think cycling means fast. I love slow cycling because when I was in uni, I came first in slow cycling. Slow cycling is one of the hardest game in the world, I think, because you need a lot of focus and balance. Because I have a yoga background, I can easily balance the slow cycling. So in that sense, I would prefer to compete in a slow cycling, get a gold medal for Australia. Thanks, Lana.
Thanks very much, Harini. Thanks everyone for their participation in those questions. I'd now like to ask Melody to present her evaluation. Thanks, Melody.
Thank you, Madam Topic and Madam Table Topics Master. It was definitely my pleasure to actually evaluate all of our excellent speakers for the evening. I just wanted to actually say probably a few comments in general in terms of how we actually responding to the table topics, kind of table topics with the 1 minute and also in front of the video. I find that it's generally speaking, we can still keep our body language, but mostly with hand gestures. It's just that I find that when we're very, very close, it's hard to actually see our hands, and you might have to actually make extra effort to actually show your hand gestures. So if you actually maybe a little bit away from it, maybe that's actually, everyone can see you, like what Sonia is actually doing can be really good. This is just a general comment I wanted to make. And other than that, to be honest, I think everyone is really good in terms of the structure of the content. They immediately know the answer. Maybe Lana actually gave us a relatively easy topic rather than a very challenging one to say. So we can always just really share what we're most passionate about and what we really enjoy. So that was really good topics. And with the video conferencing, it actually limit of movement, but I do see the fact that we'll be able to use more direct hand gestures and we'll be able to use it more effectively going forward. And one thing I also particularly noticed is that we'll be able to practice our volume and pitch a lot more rather than focusing on our movement. So I just wanted to make this general comment that we can, with the video conferencing, there's pros and cons, and there's always things we can actually focus on to improve our speeches a lot better. With John's first table topics speech, should you use pizza? Did you eat pizza with hand, fork, and knife? He made a very punchy statement straight away, and really that set up the tone. And he just really gave us a very fluent speech afterwards. I like how he reasoned with it. He also used some analogies as well, which was really nice. And at the end, finishing by until further notice, which was really funny and humorous. Sonia, if you were invited to a barbecue, what would you bring and why? I would just say that Sonia can literally give us a whole outsourced barbecue team. We can literally just host the party and ask Sonia to bring everything else. And then I can see her passion from her speech. She's passionate about all the food and all the alcohol. So I would like her to expand a little bit more every time when she mentioned all these topics or the items, or maybe just give us maybe a story or something to make it even more lively. But I really enjoyed Sonia's speech. Peter, I'm going to move it very quickly. What activity would you lose track of time? And Peter actually started by saying, straight away, what are the things that actually make him lose track of time? And I like how he really actively showing the Fitbit, because we really need to see what the activity looks like when you're actually showing the body language. I like his eye contact, because a lot of times you can't really, eye contact is no longer from left to right. You literally need to actually look into the camera more. And I like how Peter was really engaging with the camera and effectively engaging with the audiences. Lastly, Harini, what sport she would like to compete in Olympics. I really like her confidence in terms of what she's really good at and passionate about, and she relating to cycling and slow cycling. I like how she explained why she's good at it, and I like the end that she will no doubt be giving us that confidence that she will win gold for Australia. So that was a really nice speech, wrapped up with some reasoning, wrapped up with her passion for it, and then at the end gave us a really nice finish. So really enjoyed all of the speeches. Thank you very much, everyone. And over to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Peter, just a quick thing. Have you extended the meeting? Yeah, perfect. With that, I'd like to thank all the participants and our brilliant evaluator, Melody. And I'll now hand over the control of the meeting back to John, our chairman. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yeah? Oh, right. So, sorry about that. Thank you very much, Lana, for that demonstration on how we can use table topics in this format. We'll now have a timers report from Alex, who will just keep us in line with how we've been going with our timing on a number of aspects of this afternoon's presentation. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, John. So I'll just go by what's on the agenda. So President remarks for 1 minute 9 seconds, bit over. The introduction, 6 minutes 21, bit over. Mission statement, 18 seconds, well under. First speech, 4 minutes 14 seconds, tad over. evaluation 2 minutes 13 on time. Table topics, John 1 minute 17, Sonia 45 seconds, Peter 1 minute 5, Harini 39 seconds, and Melody's evaluation 4 minutes 35 seconds. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Alex. Well done. Now, we're going to have a general evaluation where we all have some input into how this has gone to give some encouragement to the people that hopefully will be seeing this particular video. So we have a couple of minutes to do that. Oh no, 10 minutes to do that. So I'd ask for perhaps we might just go around my screen here and ask people just for their general evaluation of today's meeting. Peter, I'd like to ask you first. How do you think we've gone so far?
Quite good for a first attempt, and I think a key question is just the lighting and having some sort of light on your face is important. I like Melody's point about how far back you sit, and you sort of do sit a bit further back, as long as you can sit there okay. If I sit back like this, it's more scope to use gestures. When it's more sort of head to chest is probably ideal, right? But I guess you get the hang of that after a while. Yeah, I think that's fine. Thank you.
Excellent. Harini, would you like to make some comments about today?
Yeah, today's meeting was really good, you know, way better what I was thinking. Just I wanted to ask the timing for the meeting duration, because sitting in front of the screen for 2 hours is not really good for our eyes. So the actual next meeting, probably we can reduce into starting with 1 hour or 1.5, and then we'll see how we go. Because definitely 2 hours in front of the screen, it's not healthy. That's my opinion.
Good point. Okay, thank you, Harini. Melody, coughing your heart out there. Melody, would you like to provide some feedback?
I muted myself, and I will use hand sanitizer later. I find it really good. I probably just one comment in terms of actually unmuting and muting it. I don't know whether it's necessary for one person to dedicate it to do that, so that because Peter seems to be pretty busy in terms of unmuting and muting everybody. Maybe we can actually make that transition a bit smoother by having a dedicated person doing that. I don't know whether we can only the host can do that, or can anyone else do that? Yeah, that's just probably a question to think about.
Good. Okay, and Lana, would you like to give us some comments regarding how the meeting has gone today?
Okay, just in terms of how it's gone, overall, I think it went quite well. Just echoing what Melody said, just be careful, because when, as they said, when the light source is above you and you step out of it, you automatically become in the shadows. Yes, it would be nice to see the whole, body language that you've prepared and your body stance and that kind of thing. But if it's at a sacrifice, if it's sacrificing your actual visibility, then I think doing as Melody suggested and just taking it back a bit, and then when you're speaking, that could really help. I do agree with Harini that especially for people who have, say, dry eye or other conditions, looking at the screen for such a prolonged period might not be healthy. In that way, I suggest that we trim the fat of the meeting a little, just as we've done today. So the most necessary in terms of our DCP would be the speeches and the table topics. So we have both prepared and impromptu. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. But I think the meeting went well. Yes, the audio drops in and out a tiny bit here and there, but nothing to get concerned about. So thanks, John.
Thank you very much, Harini. Oh, sorry, Lana. I'm looking at the screen, reading the screen. Okay, sorry. Alex, would you like to give us some feedback today?
Yeah, for the child's situation, it went pretty well. The only problem I had was a little bit of internet breakdown. Sometimes just for a few seconds. We can't do anything about that, but yeah, sometimes we miss what somebody says a little bit for about 2-3 seconds, and the voice goes like zoom in and out, so soft and loud. And so if we were talking, it's better. I think it would be nice if we stay in one position rather than like maybe go lean back and come back again. I think things like that. So, and when we run a full meeting, because it's only 7 people at the moment. When we have like more like 20 people max, I'm not sure how this gonna be okay or not. So yeah, so says for about six or 7 people, it looks okay. But when we do a lot more people, I'm not sure if the whether this system can cope or not. So I think it's better to have a one go as a full proper meeting to find out a bit of fault. Yeah. So you must find some new problem when we do a full run meeting in 2 days time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. And finally, Sonia, your comments about today?
Yeah, sorry, you may have noticed that I disconnected. So
Yep.
very quickly, I think the meeting went really, really well. It's hard to hear people when they move away from the screen.
Right.
So sometimes my internet would cut out a little bit. So I think it's good to I think it was Peter and yourself who said get closer to the computer and just try to use your upper body to demonstrate, you know, whatever you need to with the speech. And try not to use your phone. So I might even switch to my work laptop, which the camera works a lot better than my home one. I've never used the home one for a camera before, to be honest. I was getting messages from friends pop up on the phone, so it'll be distracting for other people who use it. And also, literally about 2 seconds ago, my phone came up with an emergency, this is too hot to use and needs to cool down. Now, this has only ever happened to me once in Cuba, and I literally ran to the freezer and I threw my phone in the freezer for about a minute, and it cooled down and I dialed back into the meeting. So people might, if the meeting runs for 2 hours, the phones might get really, really hot.
Right. They're very good points. I'll put those in another email going out to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Try and encourage people on the laptops or tablets.
Yeah, if you guys can send me the next meeting, I'll give you my work email so then I can use the camera on that, because my home one, obviously I've never used it, so it didn't work.
No. Thank you, Sonia. Well, yes, there's a couple of points there I would reiterate. One of them is the sound quality on different devices will be, you know, different when we move away. But I'm cheating. I've got one of those. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a problem when we move away from the computer. Lighting, of course, that was mentioned. I think that's a valid point, trying to keep it as even. Today, I've got daylight streaming in everywhere, and I've got a filler light here, but at night time it's going to be quite different because that background back there will probably be quite dark. So they're the sort of, you know, trial and error things that we'll need to go through. But in terms of the actual flow and function of the meeting, I think it goes exceptionally well. And the only question, and it was something that Alex raised, was when we've got maybe 15, 20 people on screen, they're all going to be postage stamps. But, you know, I guess that we'll cope with that, and there's ways in which we can do it as a speaker view or whatever during the actual speaking components of the meeting, and then just flick back to the gallery when we need to. So I think there's really exciting possibilities for this period of time, and I'm actually going to be doing another two more Zoom meetings, one for Ardell House and another one for a group that I meet with. So yeah, we'll you know, practice makes perfect. We'll start to polish this up, and for those who have obviously used it before, it'll just be extra practice, but also they'll be able to assist us through the process. So all in all, I think that it's been a real success today, and I really thank you. I think you're a wonderful executive team. You've just been brilliant, and being able to assist in this way to put this together, I think it'll be hugely beneficial to our members. I'm sure there are going to be people out there who are going to be very tentative about this whole thing, but I'm really excited by the possibilities that we came out of this little brief meeting today. brilliantly put together, Harini, and yeah, everybody's contribution has been fabulous. So yeah, that's my evaluation comment. In terms of, and I direct myself to the President's closing remarks, can I also reiterate how grateful I am to all of you for your contribution this afternoon. And I think if we can all as an executive encourage and enthuse members to give it a go and to participate, I think we'll get through this period, and we will learn new things and be able to grow with it. And Peter's just taken a trip to a tropical island, so
His background.
I think
Peter's background. Where you're sitting. It looks like a beach.
So fun.
so. Yeah, I really thank you all for your contribution. Now, Peter, with the video recording, is that something that you can put up on YouTube and send a link through?
I'll stop the recording now, and then we'll just have a quick chat about what we're going to do next. So I'll stop the recording now.